Hey guys, I'm back with another video. I haven't done a commentary video in a while, so I thought that was important to get one of these out. This video is made right after the DDoS attacks on Blackwing Lair that ended up killing 14 to 15 OnlyFans members. So this is just a video off the top of my head, no script. We're kind of just talking. I'm going to talk a little bit about rollbacks, what Blizzard can do here. Is there any situation in which is the right situation? Can they do anything to fix this? What's kind of going on? So if anyone hasn't been paying attention, even dating back to last week, people have been DDoSing the Blizzard servers, which has been causing people to DC and obviously die in hardcore. Now, why this is a big deal, obviously in the hardcore scenario, is not only is if you die, you can't get that character back, but also it's quite literally killing the server and making people not want to play hardcore. Now, if you haven't been paying attention, again, the hardcore servers have been taking, getting a lot of popularity from just streamers, really. I mean, a lot of the OnlyFans people or the OnlyFans community brought in a lot of new players, a lot of new classic WoW players, or a lot of new players just playing World of Warcraft in general. And while there are people out there that do not like streamers, they have done a lot of good over the last couple months for the community of WoW as a whole, as far as bringing in, fresh blood. Blizzard has been really prominent about no rollbacks for many reasons. And to be honest, Blizzard is in a absolutely no-win situation right now. Let's say that they do roll back for these streamers. A couple things come from the top of my head. Again, this video is literally right after. I'm just reacting to this. If they do rollbacks, it enables the DDoS attacks to keep happening. When they pull Nefarian for their first time, will there be another one? When they pull Chromagus, will there be another one? What about their whole second raid team that they have a bunch of other streamers leading? Is that going to get attacked too? I think a lot of people focus on the big internet personalities when it comes to WoW, but not the other guilds that are trying to progress and things like that as well. Obviously, those guilds would never be attacked in a DDoS situation because we've already had a couple like Purpose and Washed Up and Power Rangers, actively pursuing a one night clear of BWL. But, it's Blizzard can't roll back. They can't do that because what about the people that, died yesterday on Saturday? The 7 pages of death logs from the first DDoS attack when it was going on, during Fire Mall, when Soda got DC'd in the middle of that fight. What about last week during World First, where Hardcore literally saw it was the worst death log outside of Labor Day last year. I don't know if anyone remembered that on Defies Pillager, but Labor Day had a massive DC issue where they lost tons of people. I think last week in total was over 200, 300, 400 players were killed because of these DDoS attacks. And it really sucks for people that are playing hardcore because for my guild at least, I've built the guild from scratch here, and I can already tell you I've lost some of really good guild mates or players because they just don't want to play here anymore. They don't want to risk that, and they're just going to go to softcore where it's not that big of a deal. They don't have to worry about losing a character to something simple. Because for a person that's played hardcore for a couple years now, I can tell you there is nothing worse. If you lose a character doing a dungeon, that's fine. If you lose a character doing a raid, at least you had an honorable death. But losing a character to something that is completely out of your control is next level, just doesn't feel good. It just doesn't feel good. Again, I just don't think Blizzard can roll back. They can't do it. They can't put that sort of favoritism in the air because they just, so what about the 7 pages of people that died, yesterday on Saturday? What about the tons of people that died last week? What about the people on Labor Day? You can't just roll back for the 15 streamers. And I get from a perspective that they bring a lot of good to World of Warcraft as far as popularity and people playing the game and, obviously money for Blizzard. But you got to remember, a lot of these people don't main World of Warcraft anyways. Eventually, they are going to go back to where they came from, whether it's, Warcraft 3 or League of Legends or Counter-Strike or any, FPS game. So this kind of just speeds up that process, right? Because at some point, OnlyFans was just going to stop anyways. It was just a matter of time for them. And I'm not saying that like in a negative way. I'm just saying, at some point the hype train was going to stop. Um, but for it to end like this, it just kind of feels bad. And I'm honestly wondering if they even come back to it. I mean, obviously they'll get a lot of help from viewers or, within the guild themselves to get them boosted back up if they really wanted to do this. But if they come back, it just continues to enable the person doing these attacks. And it's just a spot that is, again, Blizzard is just in a complete no-win situation with this. And again, if even if they do the rollbacks, it's almost enabling these people to keep doing the attacks. But not only that, they're going to lose a lot of the players that didn't get their characters resurrected. They're going to see it as unfair, which it is. They're going to see it as, I guess, unjust, and that, that their account or their subscription doesn't matter as much as the next person. And that's totally fair. I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with thinking that. I mean, I would be very upset as well if I died on my 60 on Saturday and I don't get a revive, but they do, 24 hours later. So that, again, that it just keeps bringing up the purpose here. So they can't do a rollback. They can't do it. They lose no matter what. Blizzard, that is. If they do the rollback, they lose that way. If they don't do it, they lose that way as well. So, just overall, I think they suffer less if they don't do the rollback, because I think OnlyFans still has a chance to stay alive and boost. But at the same time, this DDoS attack thing is not going to stop no matter what. It won't stop until OnlyFans is just gone, unfortunately. And I'm just, I'm not a tech guy. I'm not anything like that. I'm not going to claim I am. So I don't know like how like a DDoS works, like what's going on with that. But I can tell you now, like, these are targeted attacks. Like, these will not go away. Let's say it'll happen in AQ40. It'll happen in their ZG runs. It'll happen on any Blackwing Lair attempt, with Nefarian and things like that. It's just, again, it's a no-win situation for any player right now in the hardcore sense. And it's just unfortunate to see, because hardcore has been a lot of fun for a lot of people. And I'm just not really sure where Blizzard was, or just where they go from here. Just a live reaction video, guys. I hope this, feel free in the comments to leave how you feel. And I appreciate you guys watching.